Who's that looking in my window? Serious? What's up, bro? Let's see. We need to. What is this? Random tweet intro. You can be elite lyrically and not rap like Big Pun. There are different ways an MC can display elite lyricism without being overly complex. Not sure why this is so hard to understand. Yeah, that's a tough one. Trey 8. Jonesy. What's up, bro? Stefan, what's good, bro? Let me share this link in the Discord. Let me share this link in the Discord. Add everyone in there. All 208 people. Ah. We've been having some good talks in the Discord. Thanks to Josh and Money Mike's and Sirius. Sincere, what's up, bro? My guy. Well, we were talking mainly lately a lot of stuff about Metro booming, loudness, and the God particle. A lot of that type of stuff. Everybody's loving the God particle, getting to know it, understanding it, making making tunes that sound better. It's one of those. It's one of them ones. But Josh came in and he was wanting to see like a video about getting beats louder. He had got an instrumental from heroes, superheroes and villains, and he put it up against one of his, and it just he noticed that it had similar LUFs, but it didn't sound the same. So we went down that whole talk about you know LUFs and RMS and perceived loudness and how it gets all tricky and the importance of listening to your stuff and also re-evaluating, limiting, and clipping, right? So when I was looking, I asked him to post his mix and then the industry instrumental, So and uh Sir Dwick was nice enough to post the graphics of the waveforms, which is, that's what we all wanted to see. And when you look at this, like if you've used DAWs for a long time or just audio editing software, like it looks like the um the one on the bottom, the Metro Boomin one, it looks very similar to this waveform. It just looks like it's zoomed in, right? It looks like it's zoomed in and we can only see, it's zoomed in, so this part and this part is just past the threshold and this is all we could see. Whenever you are looking at a waveform and you see that on your reference material of where you're trying to get to, All that means is that in order to make this look like that is you're gonna need a clipper. And what the clipper is gonna do is it's gonna make it so that it cuts off all of those spiky things at the top. Doom, 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 doom. Those are gonna be gone, and then you're gonna have something that looks like this. That's all it is. Um, and I that's something like when you understand it, you can start to because as a music producer on the computer making your own beats, you're going to mix your stuff as you go. And if you're mixing it as you go, you can think about things in the creative process that'll make all of this easier, like your templates, which samples you choose. Um, that's where it starts for me. Definitely begins at what sample do I choose. So let's make a new one from scratch, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Like the name from everything like to the name of my template called JJ Beat Mix in the box. The description in all capital letters is Loud Beats with a Z. Spelled it with a Z so that you understand it's that important, right? Because things are really important to the culture when you misspell them. We all know this. Everybody knows this. So let's get a loop, bro. What is since I got my boy Jones in here, let's collab. I still got to do this, but yeah, you wouldn't. I wouldn't make that real loud. That's for another day. What chords are those, Jones? That's a fucking famous song, and it's it's piss like I need to know. Where the hell is Discord samples? Discord samples. Jones got all right. What do we got here? Dude, I just heard the rawest boom bap beat off of that. Oh my god, I heard the chops too. I gotta do an 808 beat though. Fuck. the end of that shit is hard as fuck. That little part at the end, bro, that shit is so tough. That groove, dude. Alright, I'm bugging out. I just need to find something to loop with the Spins 808. Okay. We can make a 21 Savage beat with that. Man, so when we were talking to Discord, like me and Mike were talking to Josh about different plugin chains and techniques, and we were talking about, you know, sometimes to get stuff louder, if you're just mastering a 2-track, you turn down the bass, you know, that way you could get more room in like the limiter to be able to turn the volume up without distorting, right? You turn down, if something distorts, if you can turn it down before it pushes into the thing that's distorting it, you'll have a you know, more room to have that thing that you're pushing into do its job, right? And the sample's too Halloween right now. I know he's got one in here for this. Come on, bitch. I'm gonna do this one. I think I got something for this one. This is gonna be amazing. This beat is gonna wake up Pimp C. Calling it right now. keep it at D. I don't think you gotta do it like this. Yeah. All right. So you have your beat. This is your beat. So thinking about how this is going to be loud, from the way that we pick the drums, from the way that we pick the kicks, from the way that we, EQ the sample, the first thing that I do is I have this gain staging preset, right? Because gain staging, like when you think about it in a DAW and you're not recording, if you're just like a producer gain staging, you are just like all of that I do to, verify that the signal's coming in at 0 VU. That way I can go through all of my analog emulation plugins at the way that they tell you to in the manual. And then, coming out onto the fader and then moving out to the master fader, that's all to make sure that when I go to my my mastering plugin, my limiter, right? In this case is going to be God Particle. It's to make sure that when every one of these tracks that are red and blue are lit up, that I don't distort this thing, right? This could be a limiter, this could be a clipper, but all of that is about not distorting this guy, right? So when you get to your main fader, because we were talking about the back EQ, and Josh's question was, well, do I have to get it back down to 0 dB to go into this because it's an analog emulation? And it's just like, no, bro. Like at this point, all of that's out the window. You should be at a level right here, right now, that's not distorting this and it's not distorting your limiter. That way you can actually use these things. Using an 808, if your thing is like, yo, I want to make beats that a famous person like if you're like making beats that like you think that like a famous person would want to sing on or would want to rap on, or you should use the sounds that they rap on, right? So like the Spins 808 is the equivalent of using whatever the most popular bass guitar is in in any music that required a bass. The Spins 808, if you're making a trap beat, it's like using a piano while writing a ballad, so you should have a good understanding of where this needs to sit in a mix so that you get your stuff loud and you don't distort your final version, right? That's the question, and is how do I get loud without distorting the final version? If you use, even if you want to be creative, right, and use a whole bunch of different 808s, if you're not at the point yet where you can get it loud enough for anybody to even notice that you're using a different 808, maybe you should spend like, I don't know, like 15, 20, maybe 100, probably 100. You know what I mean? Like do 100 beats with the Spins 808 and get this process down right. The reason why I like the God particle is because it kind of gives you like a visual representation of gain staging, but it's not perfect. You know what I mean? It'll light up, when when it feels like the low end sounds good, right? But a lot of people who use this as beat makers, they're like, yo, I could never light up the mids. And then you tell them, you're like, hey, you can't light up the mids because you don't have the mid ass rapper on there yet. You know what I mean? What you need to do is you need to go out and find yourself a mid ass rapper and make him some beats, and then you'll fill up the mid. But if you don't have vocals on your beat, you will not ever fill that up. And then when you watch the videos of bro who actually made this plugin, Jason Joshua, he's like, yo, sometimes you won't even light this one up, right? So once you have that laid out, you start to say, all right, let me just deal with what's important, this 808, because this is going to make or break the whole process, right? Every like mastering video about mastering hip hop or whatever, it's going to be on some 808 bass music. My Mike says I was struggling to light up the highs until I watched one of his videos. What did he say about it? So the first thing that I do is I will take the 808. Well, no, the first thing that I'll do is I'll take the kick, and I'm just watching God particle. I'm just looking for this to light up. I get a situation where like this is like going too loud or whatever, then what I do is whatever else I got going, I'll turn down the sample, I'll turn down all the other tracks, and I'll just do bass and kick real quick, right? So, I mean, that's what it wants to do. That's what it wants me to. That's what it wants me to do for bass and 808, right? Then I could go back, grab my drums. You don't have to like the kick. All you got to do is hang out for the clipping. So you got your you got your shit in there. Bring your sample back in. So if I go and I look at my level meter, right? Let's reset it, see what we got. It's just loud as fuck. It's 10 LUFs. If I turn it up in my room, yeah, that makes my sub and my speakers on the desk feel awesome. It makes the room be filled with joy. If we look at it on the scope, just to see what we got for transients and what have you. Right, do a quick bounce of the loop if you want to do even more visual representation of what's happening, right? We could go in and take a look at it. Sneak a little peek ski. See where our 808 is coming up at. See how much of a crest factor we have. See how much little dynamic range we have. You kind of find the RMS in here too. It's looking at it. It's you look at something like this and you're like, all right, so if you had this and say you played something that's louder, and this is what you had, looking at this waveform, you see you probably have 3 dB of compression more that you could do to this signal to get it, that much more louder, to where I don't think you would like kill the overall sound of what you have here. Like, it would still resemble, you'd still be able to hear like a kick and everything. So if we go back, say we take God Particles limiter out of the mix, and we're going to pull in them boys. We're going to grab Pro L, and we're going to get standard clip. First thing I do is I would try to just remove those peaks with standard clip. About the greatness about the era that we live in, it's like, yo, you ain't even really got to be good at listening for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be like no elite listener because it shows you. So what I'm saying is, those 3 dB, those little kicks, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clip those things off so that when I put it into Pro L and I go to raise the volume, I'm not gonna have those, those high peaks that are gonna go above, the waveform and cause distortion. We're just gonna chop those off, and you can see it in bright red in the limiter plugins now. It's crazy. Like, by taking all those away, you just gave your limiter, like, it stays this volume, right? But you gave your limiter 2 more dBs that you could turn it up, before it even starts doing any limiting sound, which is awesome. So you go up here. All right, so say you get here and whatever, you're super loud, but you're like, man, I'm starting to cut up. Like, you can see in the waveform that the main violence that is beating up these plugins is your 808. So if you, for some reason, if you needed this, right? Like because so here's the thing, like why you need the beat to be all loud. Um, when I did my mixing course, Mixing Made Simple, I was showing people how to master a beat for like -12 RMS, which is, I got that from old forums. They were like, yo, people who like knew their shit. They were like, this is where you should go with it. Try it out. You'll like how it sounds. I tried it out. I liked how it sounded. You still got dynamics, but it was still like heavy limited. Um, but you have you have now where they go up to like -3 RMS on the masters. So for some reason you felt like you need to do that. I don't think you need to do that with beats. But if you're trying to do songs with people and stuff, like maybe you might need it. All right, we could go through it. An EQ will be your friend because you got this 808 that's kicking your ass. So if you need to get rid of the distortion, because this is the part where everybody taps out. I know it sounds crazy, but if you take an EQ, right? And I like the Bax EQ because it only gives you like 5 dB to mess with, right? It only gives you 5 dB to mess with, but the dial is larger than anything else on the display, so it makes it feel like it's this big drastic movement, and it is a big drastic movement in the context of on a master. But that's what I really like about how this is designed. So you come through here. You see how the distortion went away? It's crazy. It's like this is an anti-distortion plugin. But if you think about the way that your limiter works, if you think about how frequency and what it is, and how much bigger a 20 hertz cycle is or a 30 hertz cycle is versus a 1000 hertz cycle, you would see, it makes sense. Listen. When I turn this up, it gets more distorted. If I turn it down, so a little 2 dB drop on a little like 120 hertz shelf, and you're able to reclaim that. So those are like, that's it. That should be, I think, I don't know, like, did I miss something? I'm trying to have something that we can go back to, whenever we get like new people in the Discord and stuff, to make, to have them have something to go back that's modern, to be able to reference when they have the how do I make songs loud, 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 really loud, without making my 808 distort, because I think this is it. I like. Oh, I'm tripping. Hold on. I was wondering what was happening here. The limiter was going before a standard clip. How does the snare not drown out? I think that happens to a lot of newcomers. The snare, you just got to make sure that you put it at the right spot. Like, you want it to be. So what happens with the snare is you really want that snare to be just a little bit lower than the kick as far as like in volume. It's like the same volume as the 808. You know what I mean? Because you want that ceiling to come down and not really touch the snare, so that it maintains like the original thing that you liked about it. And when you do all that limiting, it's just going to like pull the snare more forward in the mix, and that's how you make it so that it doesn't get buried. You know what I mean? Like, just don't. I always like, when I'm listening to my instruments versus my snare. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm turning up the instruments and trying to find out where they sit, like once they start to get like, I turn my band bus up until you can kind of hear the snare like start to go away, and as soon as the snare starts to go away, I'm like, bitch, too loud, boop, come back, and then that's where that goes. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? But this is what the people want. This is what they want their stuff to look like. No, I don't know why you want to do that. Do not know why you want to do that, but it can get done. Pew. I think I was saying too much extra advanced shit yesterday. Nah, it's good for people to have that, especially written, because they can go back to it. I mean, I didn't know, like, what I do for gain staging in the box. I didn't understand that the first time I came across it. I had to read that it was a thread in a Gear Sluts forum, and I had to read that thread 3 times until I was like, I went to my computer and I had the thread up and I had the DAW up and I did it, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I understand. The other thing is when people do this on songs instead of beats, they use multiple stages of compression. Here you've got 4 dB of clipping. I'm someone who could hear that. If I was being money, I'd split that across 2 compressors and the clippers, and you wouldn't hear it. You know, that's fancy. Which 2 compressors would you use, Michael? While we're here, while we got you. You can use the Fab Filter Pro MB where the kick in the 808 sits and flip it to expansion mode. Ah. SSL bus comp and a Neve. I don't have a 3360. I wonder if I do, but I don't have it enabled. $33,609. It's the same thing as Shadow Hills. All right, I'm gonna use Shadow Hills then because I know Shadow Hills. Oh, I haven't done this in a while. All right. Yep. Yep. So Shattered Hills first. All right, let's do it. Shady Hills. All right, so what are we doing with Shadow Hills? We doing fast compression or we doing slow compression? High ratios or low ratios? Not the big meter, the smaller meter. What, this one? Where, or, oh, this one? This one. Got it. Okay. So change it to +3 and dial in the clipping so it's no more than 1 or 2 dBs on this fucking thing. All right, let's do it. Yo, do you guys get that? yo, money, yo, Money Mike just gave you some fucking money, bro. yo, yo, bro, that's crazy. Let's push it. Let's push it. Oh my god, that is crazy, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy talk, bro. That is like, that just opened up a whole new bro, that just, cuz you know what that is, Mike? Like that's like, you just opened up a palette with this, right? Because now because you're not fighting the distortion fight, you can now get into the flavors of your limiters. You know what I mean? Because now that we got this, we could take this and be like, all right, boom, let me go through all these different limiter plugins and let me see which one actually, when it slams, you know what I mean? How does it, how, like, you can focus on the tone and limiter. That's a new door to walk through, bro. Holy shit. What a good Friday, dude. What a fantastic Friday. So let's let's go over this again. I don't know if you guys are excited about this. So you guys all got the Hills EQ? You guys got this one? This was real easy. I didn't have to do nothing to it, right? I just had to make sure that it was in stereo mode, and all I did was on the discrete ratio. And Mike, this was my instinct. I don't know if this is how you would do it, but you let me know. This was just my instinct as far as what we were doing. So I was like, okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Shadow Hill's mastering compressor, but Shadow Hill's mastering compressor, you use it. You got the plugin alliance version. Boom, that's fantastic, bro. Plugin alliance version's fire. It's made by the same people. It's made by Brainworks. So this plugin is 2 compressors, right? So, Mike, I I did the ratio to flood. I don't even know what flood means, but I'm pretty sure flood is like, hey, this we're gonna use this like as much of like a limiter as possible. You know what I mean? That's my assumption. EQ? I don't even do no EQ, bro. Flood is a limiter, basically. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I use that for the first signal, just to, just to like, all right, we're cutting, we're cutting peaks. The second one, boom, boom, like you said, 1 dB of compression on each one, bomb, bomb. So that's, if you guys have never used this before, but you're gonna like try the demo, or if you have it and you want to try this, just because I didn't explain what I was doing as I did it, this optical, this is the first compressor, right? These are the controls for it. I don't like to push gain into this plugin because we did all that gain staging so that we can hit this right. I just adjust the threshold, right? Make sure that it goes to 1, listen, try to listen, but if you don't hear any chains, you can trust that being at 1 is cool. Then you got these controls which are going to control this compressor, right? You're going to see the display for this. And just turn that bitch to flood. Oh, I said EQ at first. My bad, bro. Again, just turn the threshold, get that 1 dB, right? And then for the SSL comp, I just went with my bus comp preset inside my head, the famous slow attack, fast release for ratio, and then just again turn the threshold down so that it's in between 1 and 4. And dude, that shit sounded so damn punchy. That shit's just poking out. And then we got this guy here. You want to change your meter. So what happens if you do this? If you do this meter, it's, oh, this makes it 12, so you ain't even gonna see it. So that what Mike had us change is the scale of this meter. You can make it 12 dB to the top or bottom, or you can make it 3 dB to the top or bottom. 3 dB to the top or bottom, actually, it gives you a a little white indicator here, 1, 2, and 3. So you could say, okay, boom, I'm gonna clip this, and I'm not gonna do any more than 2 dB. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. That's 6 sounds, and it sounds like a mountain of power coming out of my speakers right now, bro. That shit is 6 sounds, dude. when you do this, now you can hear your limiter better. It's like when you get used to spicy food and you could taste the flavors behind the spice. That's exactly what it's like, bro. Like this, like now I'm like, all right, let me hear what let me hear what this one's doing, you know, because now we could compare actually. Bro, that is nuts. That is absolutely nuts, dude. That is crazy, bro. That's it. That's the key. That's the key. That's gonna be replicatable every time, dude. Every time. That's such an insane amount of compression to not have distortion on and um to still be able to discern a transient from, man. Fucking 7.4 LUFs in your eye. If there was a vocal on it, it'd be 6. Yo. Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's incredible. That's too loud for most platforms. Bro, nobody nobody follows those rules, bro. That shit's propaganda so that the record labels can beat you. You like to aim for -8 long term, never pass -3 on peaks on momentary loudness. Yeah, that's very sane. That's very sane. That's very loud and it's very sane. I think that that what you're talking about is what everybody should be aiming for. I think that's what a lot of the pros do, and then they'll just leave it to the you know, to the streaming service to, you know, to try to turn it down. You know what I'm saying? Flatline before ozone was flatline. Mini notes, what's up, man? It's a conspiracy by big streams. I think it is, bro. Like I really think they lied to you about that shit, bro. Like that's Flatline's a clipper. Got it. I don't like, bro. Like I'm telling you, bro. Like Mike does this shit for money, you know. And I mean, like he doesn't do it for money, like like he does it for like exercise money, so he could buy synthesizers and vacations. He does it so that like he can put gas in his car and shit. And he was one of the first persons like to agree with me in a stream that like, bro, that -12, nobody's turning their stuff into -12. Like, I don't know why that's even happening. Like, why they're saying that. I'm gonna do tequila shots and make fun beats, bro. Happy fucking Friday, dog. Turn up. I think I'm gonna get out of here too. But appreciate Money Mike's sharing game with the chat and with me because, dude, this is a whole new world. Keep it simple, don't be basic. See you next time.